Sebutones. No equal, no equivalent.
One by one, the tones begin to wake up, moaning and groaning.
Vision from the start till I'm a soul be rocking.
Prisoners of the earth, come out. Storm the studio. Pilot K9, you are cut off. Back. Turn to base immediately. Right, music beam, back to base. Stay out of that time slack. All pilots. Right hand pipes back to base.
A new day is begun.
Opening ceremonies and minds, we rob from the rich, rabid to the wretched. The Sebutones is what we are, not who we are. We three kings, shit-talking thin pricks, domestic affairs and book reports. There is no such thing as free will.
From a huge crowd of white folk, the Sebutones emergency images of crippled civilians and 50,000 galvanized Elvises. Avoid dilapidated raps like fried food because they angry up the blood and pus. And plus they poison the workplace. So listen here, jerk face, you better think twice before you start dumping mechanical bullshit on digital citizens. Bear in mind that whiting's always been the #1 no-no. Diamonds are forever and children of God are in their 20s. I'm tripping off memories of naked celebrities and hemorrhoid remedies. Bow-legged brunettes and peroxide blondes both get buried in the rock slide. I memorized your manifesto, MC Space lyrics and the Billie Jean dance routine. I need you in my life like heaven needs hell, I'm neutral. Even nihilism radiates a cannon, it's crucial. Cruel and unusual, from here to the Crab Nebula, we bring misery, calculus, and turntable wizardry.
Check one last time to make sure your neural enhancers are fastened correctly. Because straight, we rock forth and persevere regardless of the conditions. They try to stifle our emissions and stagnate our position. Well, here's your model opposition, 6'2", the nomadic intelligent freak. Compelling to speak over beats, designing science laboratories instead of the streets and boulevards where hard guards are pulling cards, positioning themselves as demigods. Compelling odds are stacked against us and our format. Wipe your feet up on the doormat when you're entering the quarantine. Here's your ultimate right to passage, double-sided on wax, manufactured at Mount Weather, capturing the rapture of the clever nomadic societies, evolving in the exponential leaps and bounds. Clock beeps and sounds, we too deep for these clowns. Your passive resistance is no match for hypnotics, so shut your lips, novice, or get your clips solaced by these boots that are polished. Willing opposition for those worthy to battle are greeted by spells and snake rattles. AIDS and poison cattles can't phase all of praise, goods and services that are laced with nervousness and malnourishment.
It's no skin off my ass if you got the Antichrist on the front cover. Pushing and shoving, I'm the gushing bloody cunt lover. An abomination has been created with your quest for global domination. Parody based on elaborate scams and charity cases. Take my hatred in your mouth and forever hold it sacred. Shocked and suspended in cells of animation. Atmospheric contamination with a pocket full of coffin spikes. And all I can ask is, do you like music?
Babylon. It doesn't use a stick, nor a stone, nor a gun. I don't tell you that our policy is non-violent, non-violent, non-political.
Right now, scientists are engineering a cause and effect for birth defects, selective scientifics with predetermined outcomes geared towards a target market of mostly suburbanite bums. Those in control want you to believe for the sake of believing that Satan himself is walking upright amongst the breathing. Selective breeding is the first step in the equation, but me, I practice exercises in mental masturbation. I'm building myself a constitutional model plane to fly around my brain with operations for surveillance. I'm sick of the inhalants, the intake and breakdown. We got the Sebutone militia well trained for a shakedown. The protocols of wise men can't stand in this circle that I marked in the dirt with a crooked stick. Pick and choose the stick and move. Loop the beat out of a crooked groove. Whether or not you disapprove, it's all irrelevant. The wheels are in motion for historical downfall of all except the corporations, police and shopping malls. Subversion of power through evangelical proverbs leads to perversional showers and skeletal manipulations of words. Those who choose to remain ignorant in the days to come deserve all the pain that they will get. Trust no one.
Before I make a move.
Men want to invent or try to imitate cause they cannot create. You know, see, they're only trying to invent and researching and discovering destruction. But, you know, so it was, so shall it be. And these are the last days.
There's scrutiny on the county, and spies wearing disguises walk silently amongst us. Trust no one, especially the youngsters and punks that sport rollerblades. A device between the shoulder blades takes the energy from solar rays and converts it to the inescapable vapors of whackness. It's invisible and odorless. However, you may notice this miserable feeling that goes along with the knowledge that you're completely fucking hopeless and there's no known cure. It's a chromosome disorder of some sort, sure. I can understand the system of attacker turned victim and vice versa, knowing a nice person can place emphasis on the good but have the bad in parenthesis. Arms reach out for sentimental extensions, but the hard-earned cash is spent on dental expenses. So I say again, trust no one, highlight and underline. The enemy is everyone, they lie, fight and undermine. and handed me a strange tape. I put it in my Walkman and my physical changed shape. The forces of metamorphosis brought forth pure thought and energy that entered me through every pore. The record was a sure shot, to say the least, and then obey the priest. A voice ordered me to face the east and listen. Only you can slay the beast, so pay attention to this sentence he mentioned, but I was apprehensive. The best defense against the evil is to believe in your ability. Then even your agility will seem less fragile, imagine that. I thought he was exaggerating, and I was getting aggravated with this entire situation. Listen, he reminded me politely, and when I turned around, he was standing right behind me with clasped hands. It was the masked man again. Don't panic, he said, I have the master plan. But somebody has to take the last stand, and so I'm asking you to do it. But why me, man? I mean, I don't have time to. Then he handed me a mic and said, nobody rhymes like you. The next thing I knew, everything went back to blackness. The fact is, I need to take time to practice. I said to myself, I can't hack this, and that's when it happened. The beast began attacking automatically. Actually, instead of coming from in behind, the beast took the form of other voices in my mind and in my head. No surrender, remember? I hated how he knew my every move before I made it. I wanted the beast dead, and that's when I thought of what the priest said. It occurred to me that I should let the beast murder me, and what I represent, the beneficial versus detriment. In the presence of goodness, evil flourishes, of course. So eliminate the only source that nourishes and stimulates. As soon as I announced the idea to make it formal, my eyes opened wide and everything went back to normal.
The fuckery out there, and people is going to be in demand for the truth. People is sick and tired of hearing bumbleclad, get down, shake your fucking booty. See? People is sick and tired of hearing darling, I bloodclad, love you. You turn on the fucking radio 24 bumbleclad hours a day. You hear darling, I love you. A man singing, a man wouldn't sing to the almighty rasclad. Him love him woman more than the creator who create the sun, the moon, and the bumbleclad star. I sick and tired of hearing that bumble bloodclad. Sin.
Huh? On the front? Yeah, let's play a version on the front. That'll be good, wouldn't it? Okay. So I don't sound too commercial. It's cool.
Cross-dressing DJs, they can't be matched, let alone scratch their skinny backs in the shower. They got lots of effects on their mixes and think it's all about the final result. We think it's about the tweak, scratch, flare, twiddle combo. Put the fader in the middle, play a song so the pitch is atonal. Scientific approach, instead of playing records on the platter, let's make the platter play a song of demolition. Arising suspicions for fader positions on 05 Pros. The same approach, HTML combines the past and present art forms to take this shit to the next level. We on the flex, devils better stand back or get their fingers busted, retaliating to our attacks. Thumbtacks and black cats, Sebutones charged and found guilty, breaking double copies of Elder Barge. Call off the entourage.
Let's put the needle on the record, see how your talents rate. Put coins on the head shell and crank up the balance weight. Or break you off something like I'm snacking on Kit Kats. Soon as you slap the vinyl down on the slip mats. A lot of little kids wanna control the 12s, but they grab the crossfader and they can't control themselves. Fucking around with foreign objects and body tricks. Everything from upside the head to karate kicks. Some get my hands warm. Combination cuts when I tweak shit and transform. Give me double copies and the next thing the beat will flip. Never making mistakes, like even if the needle skips. Neighborhood beginners will sometimes maybe catch wreck from their friends with rubs and a baby scratch, but they'll be shitting themselves like they swallowed an X-Lax when I get my hands on the 05 Vestax. It doesn't matter what you put on the platter, you're struggling, barely breaking even when I'm over here juggling. It's like serving spaghetti when you ain't got the sauce made, trying to rock a show when you can't work the crossfade.
People, all going somewhere, all with their own thoughts, their own ideas, all with their own personalities. One is wrong because he does right. One is right because he does wrong. Pull the string. Dance to that.
Dead men don't walk, they only decompose. When I count to 3, you close your eyes and keep them closed. It's nightmarish to think you might perish. Slowly fear it or pray to your chosen Holy Spirit.
I'm an ugly bag of mostly water, born to be informed, and the only one that knows me is Obi-Wan Kenobi. My new mission as a musician is the absorption of filtered truths. And so as you listen to this and consider why I'm fussing over nothing, don't think for a moment that it's easy to please me. And right, I'm desperate to keep certain items separate. The foolish pursuit of novelty boggles me. I'll share irrefutable, tested results of beautiful breasted adults that offer feedback and need fact to figure. That's why I'm listening to Miss Helena Christensen, for instance, and I'm convinced that your gut scud missiles in your blood vessels when one launches. Memory is erased from your unconscious. Think of the days that your fears grew near and you saw them coming at you in the rear view mirror.
Dead men don't walk, they only decompose. When I count to 3, you close your eyes and keep them closed. It's nightmarish to think you might perish. Slowly fear it or pray to your chosen Holy Spirit. I absorb my surroundings and recycle the chosen thoughts. Repackage the lessons for the old and decrepit. My broken down system is immune to all insignificant mentors and models from history's vast amount of mysteries. Inconceivable notion that the dead walk upright and march alongside productive numbers in society. Slumbers thin applying the proper physics to change and balance scales in relevant statistics. Counterfeit Cubans are smoked by vast amount of sucker DJs that don't count in the real world, the aura surrounding. Meanwhile, the dub system pounding soundtracks for apocalyptic progressive thoughts and infiltration. Dead men don't walk, not even.
armored personnel carrier flamethrower, M132.
Dead men don't walk, they only decompose. When I count to 3, you close your eyes and keep them closed. It's nightmarish to think you might perish slowly, fear it, or pray to your chosen Holy Spirit. Christ, every day I think it should have been me instead of Newport. And his immortal words permeate my every little thought. And actions speak louder than words, so I never forget the actions and motions of righteousness. I repent upon your grave. With every newfound trick I learn upon the wheels of steel, knowing damn well you would have beat me in a battle any day. Whether on the turntables, dance floors, mics, or trains, and your natural prowess at 4 elements remains untouched by so-and-so and such. I recollect I still owe you $40 from a time of desperation. You were always there for me. I hang my head in shame sometimes.
The apocalypse is now and no one knows it evidently. So I'm here to spread propaganda. That's why heaven sent me in a helicopter. Now who can describe the smudges and blotches? It's okay to cheat if you want and bribe the judges. You know you got it right on when pop goes the Glock weasel. And no questions asked with the pure blend of cock diesel. Hark the herald, werewolves howl at 50 decibels. Butterfly kisses for sluts and Jezebels. The revolution's on TV with commercials and endorsements. Paid programming with religious reinforcements. Now certainly people are familiar with the circuitry. And mercifully everyone's got their proof of purchases. Thank God, here comes the Liquor State Brigade. It's like a hoedown combined with a ticker tape parade. A pat on the back for the guy that sells the missiles with the artificial intelligence and all the bells and whistles.
This is the Millennium Party for Death's anniversary. Bring your firearms, we're licking shots at the nursery. I was sent in a baby carriage to spread propaganda, allowing for endangered species to perish inherited. We're breaking bottles instead of beats and capitalizing off the barbecuing of carcasses. Progressive narcissists in the fleet of gathering, cued to perfection, set for splattering. Sexual perversion manifestos encouraged here. Syncopated release of deadly gas into the atmosphere. This is the party, and everybody's invited, especially the faint at heart and weak-minded.
We want information. 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 Who are you? You are number 6, Sue. I am not a number. I am a free man.
A thesis. 2020. A thesis. Many open secrets about mandatory options, intrepidness through effectiveness and scientific premise, systematic replacement of biological beings with technological advances in design. 0129, 2020. This is the first installment in a series of documented truths we hacked into the mainframe at Mount Weather. Very clever. I could explain the motives, but whatever. The government for the United Continents are currently conducting tests using genetics to address the problems of fallout. These superhuman/reptilites can withstand a full spectrum of UV without obtaining cancer. The rate at which they adapt to climate changes are rapidly astounding, and even more profounding is the predictions the scientists are giving. To compensate for the effects of fallout, they are being improved by adapting to radiation and chemicals by allowing for cracking in the genetics of their offspring. This means that with the improved incubation period, even if the SHR doesn't survive impact, its children will. Each generation is physically stronger than the rest. The implications of this are too large to address. A thesis. 0133-2020. The warring factions of hackers has been divided over the fact that we crack codes that could have devastating impact on humans. It's no secret they're implementing population control, and with the SHR, they can finally pass on their genetics through nuclear war, which they are planning. We meanwhile are having trouble breaking launch codes. The Genocidal Hackers Association, or GHA for short, has made a sport out of guarding global directives, making it hard for us to stop apocalypse. I have faith in the human race regardless of the illuminated history or the future of mankind. Division between communications experts makes me think to childhood, and the debate over abortion in the last millennium, it was so easy. A thesis. 0205-2020, 6:10 p.m. World President President Edward Michael Smith III announced today the scientific triumph of cloning advances. They knew we cracked the code, and as soon as we tried to go public, the teleweb was temporarily placed under the threat clause of the global constitution. Shock and Dessa were assassinated while I uploaded the anti-immune virus into the mainframe at Area 51. Side note, it's really weird we never saw such an obvious place for the meetings of the Skull and Bones to take place. The president also stated the corporation owners and land-owning citizens would have first dibs on clone banks. Those warnings were right. Only the rich and landowners would get clones before they dropped the Mirror X and released the plague cells. A thesis. 02/05/2028, 15 p.m. Their computer fell to the anti faster than we had hoped. Their launch privileges are temporarily stopped solid. The clone banks have universal lineups, and as soon as the locales were announced, the riot broke out. The 5%ers faction has contacted us in hopes that we can find out which black areas are the first to be affected. First SHRs are expected in 3 weeks, but oh no, somebody's here, semicolon, close bracket.
Intelligent freaks. 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 Intelligent freaks.
Dazed and confused in the house where you were raised and abused. I'm amazed with the way you're getting praised in reviews by the critics. They can't tell the difference between basics and acidics. To be specific, they said the beats were terrific and the rhyme should set the standard. His thoughts were like a river with the way that they meandered and flowed. In a time of monotony and tedium, use a rag for a canvas and semen as the medium to further sedate the solar system that slept while I smacked it around like a red-headed stepchild. And then as Mr. Atlas aggravates his trapezius muscle, I self-promise to kids cause it's the easiest hustle. Seek sanctum in the middle of the links in the chain and die trying to solve the riddle of the sphinx in the process. Doctor, am I making any progress? Will be the famous last words, and like the monster at Loch Ness, experts will prove that you never existed in reality. A sad story twisted in legality, bound in red tape and forgetfulness. You're lost, tolerate his addiction, and withdraw, cross-pollinate. I've seen every episode from the Sega's Genesis, riding side saddle on a castrated Pegasus. The zero-gravity, high-speed, kinetic shifter of shapes and momentum. Call me the genetic drifter.
All sheep of the fold are scattered themselves, and everyone is suffering from this great thing called ego. Everybody is busy involved in himself. The respect of humanity has been lost.
And so the chimpanzees rock from the Mesozoic era, but we are Renaissance and therefore find it our responsibility to disperse the rations of props to the deceased. Stereotypically, I bombard nuclear particles in order to eliminate magazines, severe articles, and tall tales of manic suppression, sexually driven to ritualistic engagement of the opposite gender. Do you think those pyramids just got there? Men like us, whatever that means, built upon ground with strong foundation in mathematics. The wrath of addicts is cast upon those who lead sheltered lives, to make for many wives, cast aside without bribes. Can't you see the hieroglyphic writing up on the wall? The telltale signs and prophecies are downfall. Who is to be held negligent when I march up in the place, and then I point a nickel-plated 45 in your face? It's only 2 blocks away, so fuck it, think twice, or bear witness to the verbal carjacking of Jesus Christ. We can't manipulate you.
He wasn't understood by those who tried to interpret his message. And this, of course, creates infinite complications when the
apes, right? They take frequent trips to the moon. I notice none of you have been invited. How do you think you're going to exist? The year 2000 is right around the corner.
They're all TV babies. I'm watching people killing and fucking each other in the boob tube for so long. That's all I know. Hell, they think it's legal. I think it's the right thing to do.
Constitution right now, full-blown chaos and revolution. One step, here's how. Perpetual oblivion is the hemisphere of my sanity. My shell of vanity commanded me to examine the underlying motives of forces at work that seem completely supernatural, but shielded by commonness and hereditary suspicion. I'm a theorist, watching fine lines between love and hate. You be content or repent. We haven't got a cent and rent is due next week, but the million-dollar thought simply can't compete with the hunger pains my younger brain battles against. Timeless thought becoming one with the anomalies of the wars that I fought. The astrology says simply Aquarius seek truth, but I need proof that says there's something more than my existence. Passive resistance, fueled by persistence, makes for true crime with no witness, hits with no misses. I'm partitioning the wrath of immaculate perception, the crystal clear thought of the sentence infection. Cause open sores upon your third, I can't be treated with Visine. You're probably better off washing that shit with tetracycline. The red light's green, or is it? Time for them blue suits to pay a visit. If you inquisitive, what is it?
Crust and rocky layers where sucker MCs have to dress up like hockey players. Our chosen leader doesn't come from the old school. He's a tiny little man that has to sit on a toadstool and his feet don't touch the ground. So throw away your pocket change, make 3 wishes, now say goodbye to the stock exchange. Farewell to Nova Scotia and the mark of the government. We got our own set of laws and own Ark of the Covenant. Now wash your bloody hands off and deny these sins, and we'll be joined at the hip permanently like Siamese twins and ask, will I be made to suffer for an eternity, Lord? There's hitmen for hire loose in the maternity ward. It's an underground liasma, ruled by revenge and fear. It's an old-fashioned steam train with a suicidal engineer. See scalps and holler pay dirt, or else file sodomy charges against my beloved right-handed child prodigy. So if you still want to stay, then raise your fist emphatically. Otherwise you'll be eliminated systematically. You'll be molested by Mormons, pumped up on hormones and quaaludes, before you even get a chance to get airborne. Bollocks to alcoholics. The ultimate neurosis is a cross between leprosy and multiple sclerosis. Chances are the things that you find most unsuitable for human exposure, I find the most beautiful last chance.
sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. Genesis 6:4.
You've heard drivel of ancient civilizations and descriptions of Egyptians, comrade and nemesis. But in the book of Genesis, the fact is mixed in chapter 6. Words worth more in verse 4. A few variants tell of long-lost Sumerians and of their religions. Visions of celestial collisions and of a dimensional system that breaks away from conventional wisdom. They considered the moon in the sky and worshipped the Anunnaki, curious gods, loving and furious. A deity not immediately unlike those Christian or Hebrew. They lived on the planet Nibiru, in this galaxy. Facts, not fallacy. Its orbit isn't typical. It's longer and elliptical in shape, beyond Pluto and our vision force. On a kamikaze collision course, so goes the thesis. Collides with Tiamat and breaks it into pieces. Damage dealt it formed the asteroid belt when it destroyed the larger planet that gave birth to Earth in the first place. So Nibiru enhanced space and was home to an advanced race similar to man but with a longer lifespan. And so they seemed to be immortal, even though they were normal in general. They came to mine minerals buried in the granite, worth nothing to the planet Earth, its close neighbor. The lower caste did the most labor, slow or fast at any pace. Many faced depression and said, so don't expect us to continue, and along came Homo erectus. Enki, the geneticist, made men exist with precise gene splicing.
Let us make man in our own image and after our likeness.
Another neighbor's source creates a new labor force in his own likeness, except the plan wasn't seen as a total success. To begin with, leaders were chagrined if the young gods began assuming lives could be taken as human wives.
The sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took of them wives. Genesis 6:2.
The response to this infatuation was the ordered evacuation of the planet that they cherished. The wives were left to perish. Enki, the master, warned one of a coming disaster in the form of floods. So what he does is build a vessel, like an ark, with a special kind of feature. A cargo of seed from every living creature. Later the leaders were irked because their plan hadn't worked, to be exact. They were annoyed with the fact that life wasn't destroyed. But soon they softened, as most often do when their load shifts, and bestowed gifts that consisted of civilization to show what it's worth to the people of Earth.
The SS-11 anti-tank guided missile weapon subsystem fired from the UH-1B utility helicopter.
The truth has been branded outlawed and illegal. It is dangerous to have the truth in your possession. You can be found guilty and sentenced to death.
The doctors themselves may not know what they're infecting. Coded microchips into the necks of unsuspecting. Research, development, test, and evaluation. 400,000 children's tears cannot lie. The situation is escalating higher than the calculations of the senators and the state Congress paid family morticians. Ever seen Satan pull strings in the hands of fate? Well, I bore witness to the switch that makes disease detonate. Violation of free thought, population regulation, speculation into the mind state of the public. Controversial facts are perpetuated fallacies on which the dead dance and play drama and pageantry. Will I take scrupulous steps in passionate affection? I also take precautious measures to avoid infections of an amarada. I'm sympathetic to the cognizant and well-informed. Undisputable facts, you've been warned.
Every minute, every hour, I use brain power. I restructure till come bust to bust ya. Every minute, every hour, I use brain power. I restructure till come bust to bust ya. Every minute, every hour, I use brain power. I structure till come bust to bust ya.
When the full impact of the state of the economy hits, you'll receive rations consisting of hominy grits and condensed milk. If you have the faith to invest in the system, then see the corn isn't safe to ingest. It's been engineered genetically, the structure's been altered. Science in this case got overzealous and faulted consequently. So carefully examine the ingredients. Our only defense left may be civil disobedience. Meanwhile, jettison tablets in your medicine cabinets and avoid anything with a universal product code. We should initiate aquatic mode. Don't ever apologize, but don't look to the sky for the next frontier to colonize. The sheep aren't ready for shearing or for shepherds. Even if we lose a few to wolves or even leopards, the streets will be awash in Robin Hoods and nervousness when the armed forces take control of all the goods and services. Secret police operate in the nation states, and capital is controlled through the use of inflation rates. You'll get it one day soon and then you'll get it hard. So take my advice now and cut up your credit card. The next thing you know, you'll be sitting on your doorstep with a 10-digit number code written on your forehead. So close your accounts and take account of your clothes.
2mm machine gun.
The tones have been fed tranquilizers.
I get cross-eyed, crazy on stage and wreck faders for the fellas backstage and especially the spectators. It's the second best thing if you can't catch the circus. Most DJs these days only scratch the surface, butter type shit for any hood rats and gutter snipes. Senile citizens and dudes up in the penile. 4 ways of rocking the set are always featured, so we come out in front like Pam Anderson's t-shirt.
Attention spectators, prevention of contamination for your own sanction. Just take 2 steps the opposite direction. Space and time continuum is now labeled suspended animation. We pretended creation was overrated. Now you're decrepit, infected syllables mutate with unheard verbs to fake the restoration of proverbial monks and nerds. The hip-hop geeks in bedrooms, freestyles, unheard of subfacial remedies for you all to face the penalties. I face my enemies with closed mind and captions, so you best get prepared for rations and fractional entertainment, rational stimulation of the brain movement with every groove sent via courier. The superior timing simply attacks your inferior rhyming with my exterior still shining. Massive illusion then makes for the passive intrusion. Old school like Tony Magnuson, we're proving untested theories and character manipulation to bring forth the falling of acid precipitation. The cuts go here.
Mathematical approach to all things grammatical. Shouts out to kids that still like to get radical. Count on the tones that are cynical best.
citizens complain under the breath about the way that we walk and talk and strive and persevere, but everything ain't that clear when tainted by NST and interlaced patterns and digital interference. Sample clearance is no longer a concern because we were punctual for prenuptial disagreements. I was born alone since the infrastructure was thought. Lascivious passion for onslaught. Cause hookers on trampolines don't bounce the same way as nuns. Personal invasion of space for demented purpose. You just consented to invasion of your fortress, and the unions don't intervene when the athletes forfeit. Lonely children got more determination than cockroaches and never let tears drop when those dark days approaches. Linear lines and fashion runways are measured in Fahrenheit. We tried to resurrect the art form by birthright.
Viral pneumonia.
I'm sorry, but don't ask me to make a difficult decision with a loaded weapon cocked in my peripheral vision. I'll just stare at my hands until I see them in negative, and my eyes get watery and red. So play the lottery instead, okay? I'm not impressed with notoriety, and no one knows sobriety like I know sobriety. In the place of variety, I'll spice up life with repetition. So situate your legs in the step position. Now switch and repeat if you can't stand the heat in the kitchen. I got 2 in the sink and 1 in the oven. As for fun and the lovin', and its place in the equation, the final frontier is outer space and the invasion of Earth. Unless it goes the other way around. Mother, may I play with what my brother may have found? Forget about it. I'll play the role of the only child, orphaned and blowing everything out of proportion.
Equation-wise, the first thing to do is to consider time as officially ended. We work on the other side of time. We bring them here through either isotope teleportation, transmolecularization, or better still, teleport the whole planet here through music.
I sleep not so well these past couple of days. I'm having dreams of fallout from nuclear winters. Subject to my inspection, my paid psychoanalysis says truth will set you free, but truth's enslaving in me. No matter what I tell myself, I know this shit ain't real. I'm making many marks in chalk, not steel, and hope to create immortal lines with every stroke. I feel I'm choking on more smoke from bigger businesses. I need to talk to nuclear physicists, DJs that understanding and comprehend the reasoning behind giving me the plans to take the situation and put it back into my own hands. I am shocked. We dwindle away for the sake of making marks that cannot last in this world.
I am chalk. We dwindle away for the sake of making marks that don't last in this world.
What kind of people do they think we are? Is it possible they do not realize that we shall never cease to persevere against them until they have been taught a lesson which they and the world will never forget?
The mark I leave is permanent. My face is the memory. These songs are the determinant. Sometimes it feels like I'm always shouting promises that fall upon the deaf ears of all the doubting Thomases. It sounds like just another sad-ass funky story, but everything is definitely not hunky-dory. Maybe I should try to be more like Clint Eastwood. Maybe I should quit and decide to join the priesthood. All I see is vapor so thick it clouds the radiance. So how should I inspire a new group of proud Canadians? Perfect yourself in response to atrocities, directional transitions, currents and velocities. Even the way you walk must reflect the way a jock does. So what do you do when all that's left is chalk dust? I don't even care if you feel embarrassed one day. My legacy will live long on every Paris runway. I am chalk, we dwindle away for the sake of making marks that don't last in this world.
I am chalk, we dwindle away for the sake of making marks that cannot last in this world.
We know how to make some music, and the music ain't supposed to stand still. And little bits of inroads into some music ain't enough. We have serious responsibility to do it anyhow. But we prefer to think about the responsibilities we have to the music. And music is all-consuming, I would tell you. It's tyrannical.
The stage is heavily guarded by 550 special police who know how excited and exuberant the Tones fans get at their concerts.
I've had it up to here with people who won't think. I'm sick of people asking me why I don't drink. I'm sick of wannabe DJs, I'm sick of marijuana. I'm sick of the 90s, I'm sick of Americana. I'm sick of indecision, I'm sick of religion. I'm sick of commercial radio, I'm sick of television. I'm sick of the taxes, I'm sick of the weather. I'm sick of these whack MCs altogether. I'm sick of casinos and big wager tables. I'm sick of foreign policy, I'm sick of major labels. I'm sick of the rednecks, I'm sick of street fighters. Sick of video games and I'm sick of beat biters. I'm sick of student loans and big and builder debts. I'm sick of fast food and I'm sick of cigarettes. I'm sick of being cold and I'm sick of being broke and going out to a bar and breathing secondhand smoke. I'm sick of suggestions, I'm sick of stupid questions. Sick of fat tires, sick of big fat liars. Sick of being spoon-fed and bleeding crossfaders. I'm fed up with the gossip, I'm sick of rollerbladers. I'm sick of second place and being ripped off. I'm sick of seeing angels with their wings clipped off. I'm sick of cheap thrills and no penetration sex, if you know what I mean. I'm sick of Generation X. I'm sick of the mixtapes and heroin chic. I'm sick of people's minds that are narrow and weak. Thanks but no thanks, I'm sick of the skanks. I'm sick of disease and I'm sick of the banks. I'm sick of finding hair when you're chewing your pie. I'm sick of people acting like they're still in junior high. I'm sick of the theory, I'm sick of conspiracy. I'm sick of being taken for a joke or too seriously. I'm sick of the helmet law, I'm sick of taking risks. I'm sick of these goddamn compact discs. I'm sick of baggy pants and I'm sick of tea and coffee. I'm sick of being low-key and the focus being off me. I'm sick of feeling useless, I'm sick of abuses. I'm sick of the red tape and sick of excuses. I'm sick of certain people, I'm sick of tuna casseroles. I'm sick of Halifax and I'm sick of drunken assholes.
checking other perspectives.
I love